What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Stokastic YouTube channel with another edition of PGA Tour DraftKings Reignmakers. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way, you can become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I'm losing my voice a little bit. I was at the fights in Las Vegas, Nevada for UFC 290. Incredible card, great stuff. And that was all thanks to DraftKings Reignmakers. Was able to take advantage of a contest there. There are some great contests. I'm going to go over everything this week, but I wanted to start on the players page because in these PGA Tour streets this week, not one, but two DraftKings Reignmakers contests. Yes, we have the Barbasol going over in Kentucky. We've got that going for the PGA Tour here in the States, and then the Genesis Scottish Open. The analysis I'm going to give you is primarily going to be the Genesis Scottish Open, but I wanted to at least give the people who, are playing this every single week, myself, everybody else that's jumping in, wanted to at least go through the players page and why it's so useful. Again, I can simply group it by who's playing in the Barbasol and who's playing in the Genesis Scottish Open. And yes, some of the contests are a little bit smaller for this contest, but we're talking Grayson Murray, the most expensive player, Lucas Glover, Taylor Pendrith. These are amazing opportunities to be able to jump in and be very, very competitive in this field immediately. Your Henrik Norlander card, sub $1. This is just an absolute treat when we get to have two of those contests going. And then the Genesis Scottish, this is where you got your big boppers because we have the Open Championship next week, inflated prize pools. So I'm going to talk you through three targets that I have. I'm going to build my single entry lineup like I always do for that contest. And your boy bought some Scotty Scheffler because I can't do it anymore. I just can't do it anymore. He has caused me so much pain and suffering. So if he doesn't finish in the top 12 this week, I quit. I just quit. Is what it is. But as always, you can jump over to the UFC streets. Had a fantastic weekend there in the UFC streets. All the packs have already sold out, but there is a fight night going for this weekend. Looking forward to this. You can go to the marketplace, check it out for PGA Tour, for UFC. They just had crafting tokens drop. God, there have been so many great things going on in these Reignmaker streets here of late. Hopefully you're taking advantage of all this information. If you ever have questions about how to utilize some of this information, it's been a very fun couple of weeks here for me in these Reignmaker streets. Jack Della Maddalena. Yeah, you're going to want a lot of him in the UFC streets this weekend, I think, my friends. But those cards from last weekend now being good for this weekend, going to be a lot of fun to put those lineups together. I've just kind of got my three placeholders that I put together. But we are talking PGA Tour, friends. And as I said before, you will see the 25K, 1K to first for the big contest here. But then the PGA Tour alternate event, 15K prize pool. Get your cards in that one as well. But we head to the single entry streets. This is where I really try to focus on playing my best cards, putting my best foot forward. And that begins this week with Scotty Scheffler. How abused can I be by somebody over the course of a PGA Tour season? I don't know. It's just been painful because he's doing Tiger Woods stuff. He hasn't finished outside of the top 5 in a tournament since April. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 events. The Byron Nelson PGA Championship 2nd, Charles Schwab 3rd, Memorial 3rd, US Open 3rd, Travelers 4th. His iron play is on another planet, and we're getting on some slower greens this week in Scotland at the Renaissance Club. I think he's going to be set up to maybe have a good putting week for the first time since 1984. He was negative 14 years old, something like that. But Scotty Scheffler, if you have him, if you haven't gotten your free pack down below, do so now and start with Scotty Scheffler. He's going to be in my captain spot. I can't do it anymore, friends. I just have to play him. But next click in. These are both just so easy for me. Victor Hovland. We're heading back over here. The Oklahoma State Phenom continues to just do amazing things. We can head here to the game log. Playing some really good golf as well. I think on some of these easier golf courses, we're going to see him really, really succeed. And I do think this course is going to go pretty low this week relative to what other people seem to have been saying. If you go to Xander Schauffele and his results from last season, let me double check everything because he did win this event last season. Genesis Scottish Open. He finished at 7 under. I expect this to be double-digit under par, barring crazy wind, and it doesn't look like it's going to be that insane, my friends. So Xander Schauffele, defending champion, Victor Hovland, I said 1 click. 2 clicks automatically in for me. Now, this is best available. I'm always playing my best availables in these single entries. That's kind of the way that I like to do things. But I am going to get a little bit unique. Max Homa is going to get added to the fray here. He has not been as good of late, but I think the change in scenery, getting off of Bermuda grass, maybe that's really part of this. Not that Kikuya, where he's had a ton of success in California, is that drastically different from Bermuda. I find them to be a little bit similar. I know Bermuda, you're going to have more contours as far as like sun affecting your read, grain affecting your read. You don't think about grain with Kikuya. Who cares? You don't care about that. I care about Max Homa finding and regaining some of that form that he had earlier in the season and heading overseas, starting to see some signs in the golf game coming back to us. It's all coming back to me. What is it? 6th in strokes gained approach, 7th in terms of putting over his last 50 rounds, 21st at the Rocket Mortgage, 9th at the Charles Schwab, 2 missed cuts in the middle of it, but it was an elevated event at the Travelers, the US Open. This does look like an elevated field event. I will throw that out there. Kind of is. So there you go. Max Homa, going to be in my single entry lineup as well. And now a number of different options. Probably going to be buying a card, be going to the best available here. Rory makes some sense, but let's go to Tyrrell Hatton because I saw his price was sitting down sub $9. And that's just an absolute click for me. We're going to buy that. Don't mind me, just already reserved baseball lineups for Friday. It's going to be a long All-Star break, but we're going to be firing up here. Tyrrell Hatton, last guy in. He's been so consistently good this entire season. Look at this. 3rd. Look at these box scores. T5, T3, T19. Where's that Players Championship 2nd? There it is. 65 on Sunday. Guys, Tyrrell Hatton shouldn't be sub $9. He shouldn't be cheaper than Wyndham Clark. I get it. Wyndham Clark's been playing good, and I know people are going to be getting to him this week. US Open champion, Wells Fargo champion. He's playing good golf. I'm not besmirching it, but I think Tyrrell Hatton's just been a little bit more consistent. And for him to be more expensive than cheaper than Tommy Fleetwood by 9 cents, feel good about that ad. So, single entry, pretty clear cut for me this week. Playing your best available, that's kind of what you want to do. But let's talk about my targets for this week. If you're looking to buy cards in the secondary market, where should you be looking? Let's click on 2 guys in here. Now, I do a DraftKings Reignmakers show with my friend Greg Ehrenberg. You can check that out every single Tuesday. And this is a Wednesday morning that I'm coming to, early Wednesday morning. You always want to be careful. Overseas, like these Open Championships, lock is at 11:15 p.m. Pacific time. We're talking 2:15 a.m. Over there. Again, it starts in literally 12 hours. You're going to want to be paying very close attention here to the time that everything's locking. Again, exactly 12 hours from now, it's going to be fired up. So, friends, don't sit. Wait, you want to get your lineups in now, early. This is kind of an outlier day here covering this. Normally Wednesday morning, I get an entire shelf life for this thing. I will be on PGA Tour Live before lock this evening, filling in for my good friend, Ben Raza. I had to think about his name for a second. Obviously, we're super good friends. My fault. Love you, Ben. But here you go. Obviously, Tyrrell Hatton's a target for me in that expensive end of things, but we're going to start in this sub $7 subset. Justin Thomas is going to be somebody that I'm adding to the fray, and I'll just do that right now. Let's just do that. Click. For 1 cent more, I get a way better serial number. I can do that. I can do that. Add lineup. He's been very, very frustrating this entire season. But there have been signs of life with the irons in the middle of some of these missed cuts. We have a T14 and a T9. The putter. Get on some slower greens. Maybe we can kind of sort that one out a little bit. It's sub $7 for Justin Thomas. I have to do it. I've been waiting to buy low. I think the floor can't get any lower than where we're at right now. Missing a cut in Detroit. It's as bad as it gets. So anyway, sub $7. He's going to be a guy that it feels uncomfortable. And then my dude Sam Burns sitting there at $369. This is just a straight up win equity, large field GPP type play. It has not been a pretty season for him either, but we still have some pretty good results smattered across the board here of late. We got a T6, a T16, and a T32 in 3 of his last 4 events. And as you scroll down here, T6, oh, we can't go past the beginning of this PGA Tour season. Just trust me when I say, multiple time winner on the PGA Tour. Won at the Memorial. I'm not going to say, no, not the Memorial, sorry. At the Colonial. Colonial will not play like this. I would assume it would. Although Scotty Scheffler, and maybe there's a little correlation. I'm not going to buy another Scotty Scheffler, God forbid. But my God, Sam Burns, my friends, very, very high upside option, sub $4. Wanted to kind of failed to bring him up the other day. I think that that's an important thing to do here. And then you have a lot of pieces that I like. Austin Eckroat, 273. Patrick Rogers, one of the guys who's missed the cut at the John Deere, sub $2. I think this golf course actually sets up well for him. But there is one player down here in the bottom of the barrel, not JT Poston. As much as I would like it to be him, here we are. Callum Tarrant. I don't think he'll get a lot of traction here. $1.19. This is a player that, well, there have been some decent results here on the PGA Tour of late as well. 3 of his last 4 cuts. Did miss that cut last time around. Thanks for coming. Have a nice day. The John Deere. But getting back to his homeland here, getting to England, getting to Great Britain. I think Callum Tarrant, a lot of these Euro Tour guys, we're going to see more experience. They've had more experience playing in these kind of conditions. I think that you're going to see a couple of them finish here at the top of the board. And we don't have a lot of the DP World Tour guys that we might otherwise be looking for in terms of DK. There's no Minwoo Lee. We don't have Ricky Fowler in his cards. We don't have Jordan Spieth. So it removes some of those guys from the top of the board that might be shorter odds guys. But Callum Tarrant, wanted to bring him up to kind of round it out. If you want to know other players like Eric Cole, who's now $350, his price has dropped about 50 cents from yesterday. If you want to know some of those other players that I was interested in and that I still am interested in, check out that DraftKings Reignmakers show. You can watch that again over here on the Stokastic YouTube channel. That's myself, Greg Ehrenberg, live every single Tuesday, covering UFC, covering PGA Tour, whichever has the biggest contest, that's where we're going to go. But think that that's a crazy good, high upside lineup that we're looking at right there. So don't be afraid to get a little bit contrarian on this kind of a field, and especially when we're talking about this alternate field event. I mean, you can play just about frickin' anybody. Brandon Wu left, Gary Woodland left. A lot of guys who did withdraw, but I mean, I can still put together. Everybody went over to the Genesis Scottish Open that was going to be playing in this. But I mean, you could just click all the dudes. Don't even have to think about it too much. Make sure you get yourself some lineups in there. There's no single entry you have to worry about. Just get yourself some lineups in that Barbasol. If you have cards, utilize them this week. You should have very few cards that don't have utilization for this week. So check out all of those goodies over in the DraftKings Reignmakers lobby. And got to throw this in to round it all out, my friends. A cool gated contest. Yes, international major winner. Should have brought this up earlier. I love you, DraftKings. I'm sorry. International major winner gated contest for the BMW Championship Experience. Cool stuff that they have going here. 3 international. You got to be playing some rares. You got to play 3 international rares at that for this one. But there are not going to be that many people in it. 204 right now. Friends, you got a really good chance to win a cool experience. As somebody who just went to UFC 290 courtesy of Reignmakers, of winning one of these contests, I can tell you it's worth it. Jump into a couple of those. Try to get yourself a W. You're also going to get a little bit of cash, I would assume, to go along with it. You also receive $500. See, these are good things. You don't even need to play your absolute best cards, and you'll probably have a pretty good chance with just 205 total entries. So check that out. Only 1 entry allowed in it, too. Single entry for it. Oh, that's going to be great. But I will be back next week. It's going to be a huge week in these streets, the PGA Tour Rainmaker streets. Open Championship at Royal Liverpool. Can't wait to bring that to you. Going to be awesome. I'm going to go try to get my voice back before, well, I guess there's really no other shows till Friday. No, I've got PGA Tour Live Before Lock. I got that tonight. Come check that out. Come hang with me. Looking forward to it. But until next time, my friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the PGA Tour streets this weekend on DraftKings for PGA Tour Rainmakers at the Renaissance Club, the Genesis Scottish Open, and the Barbasol. Throw that in. All right, I'm leaving now.